Microphone check 1 2 1 2. This is your host, not some baby, and this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. You know, I always had a thing for older women. Like back in the day, like my mother's homegirls used to flirt to me. You understand me? And I was like only 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. But you know, her friends used to always flirt to me. You dig? Now, you know, of course, there's double standards. Like, if my father's homeboys will flirt to my kid sister, like, people will look at him as a pervert. But, you know, when it comes to boys, we're treated differently. You understand me? So it's like a double standard. Like, when an older woman flirts to a younger man, it's like, oh, that's cute. You know what I'm saying? People laugh it off. But it's like, if it's the other way around, it's taboo. But, you know, fuck all that. I want to get back to the lecture at hand. So, you know, my mother's homegirls, her girlfriends used to always flirt to me. Like, one of her homegirls used to say that I was her fiance. Like, before we would leave her apartment, she would be like, hey, fiance, or I want to say goodbye to my fiance. It's like she would tell me that, like a grown ass woman in her 30s. Telling me that, and I'm not even hit my double digits of age. Like, this woman is old enough to be my mother. Like, this woman is old enough for me to come out her pussy as a fucking infant and as a newborn, and it's like she's flirting to me. You feel me? And I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitate towards older women, or they gravitate towards me, because I have an old soul, quote unquote old soul. I wouldn't even call it an old soul. I'm just seasoned. Yeah, dig. So it's like I've always attracted older women, and sometimes I would have to lie about my age to get the pussy until I got in my college years, and it was like, well, we're the same fucking age. But you know, I prefer older women because they know how to treat men like kings. For the most part, you know, they've been through the trenches, they've been through wars, through battles, so they know how to treat men like kings, as long as you're doing your duty as a man, as long as you're bringing happiness and value to their lives. They know how to treat you like a king, to the point where they'll worship the ground that you walk on. But you know, you have these young broads, you know, the 30-year-olds. Well, not even the 30-year-olds. Like, yeah, fuck it. The 30-year-olds. Like, before they hit their mid-30s, before they hit 35, you know, you got the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the early 30-year-olds. You know, they feel like that they shit don't stink. And the funny thing is, half of them can't even fucking cook. They'll burn some fucking cornflakes. It's like they can't even cook. They don't even know how to wash their pussy. Like, instead of washing forward, they washing backwards. It's like they don't understand how to groom themselves. You know, they don't understand how to carry themselves in a respectful way, in a dignified way. Like, it's a damn shame that you have 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, even 60-year-olds. They look better than broads who are in their 30s and 20s. Real talk. It's like you have these young chicks, you know, they perked out, mollied out, you know, on meth, weeded out, drunk out. It's like they the reverse of, you know, Benjamin Button in reverse, because they're not taking care of themselves. So I prefer older women because not only they know how to take care of themselves, they also know how to treat a man like a king. You understand me? Like, you know, let me give you this perfect example of why I don't deal with chicks younger than 30. You understand me? So I was dealing with this chick, right? Like, you know, she used to always come visit me. She was like 39. Excuse me. Let me back. Oh, she was 29. Yeah, she was 29 going on 30. She was 29 going on 30. And, you know, she was very immature. It was like, she was disrespectful. If I tell her to do something, she wouldn't do it. Like, I tell her, don't call me by my government name, and she would do it anyway. And she's one of them young broads. She would play with the bitch word. Like, she was very playful with the bitch word. Like, some chicks, they love to call other dudes bitch. And I don't play that shit. Like, I don't play that bitch shit with the dudes, with the fellas. And I'm sure as hell not going to play that bitch shit with the chick I'm fucking. So I tell this chick, do not call me a bitch. Do not refer to me as a bitch. Because, like, let's say if we're playing around, she'll be like, bitch, what you talking about? Like, I had to put a pause. I had to put a pause on that bitch shit because I do not play them games. I told her that one time. She's like, all right, I'm not going to say it again. The next time she saw me, she said it again. Strike one. Strike two, I told her, do not call me by my government name. Call me King. Everybody refers to me as King. Even the people who write my checks refer to me as King. They do not refer to me as my government name. Even my family, they refer to me as King. And if I say do not refer to me as my government name, then I respect you to respect that. Even my college professors refer to me as King. This broad still had the audacity to refer to me by my government name. Disrespectful. So, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not fucking with this chick. Like, she wanted me to fly her out to Chicago. I thought about it, but because of that second strike, I'm like, I'm not flying this bitch out to Chicago. She doesn't deserve it. She's a fucking headache. And I used to always tell her, like, when we used to talk on the phone, she was a straight up sweetheart on the phone. Straight up sweetheart. Like, freak, straight up sweetheart, on a fucking phone, on texting. But when we meet each other, she's like a totally different chick. Like, she's very, belligerent, standoffish. She don't even want me to touch her. It's like, damn, on the phone you this, but when you meet me, you're that. It's like, be consistent. You understand me? It's like, don't act one way on the phone and then get on your Heckle and Jekyll, your Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shit when you see me. I want consistency. You understand me? You know what they say? There's an old phrase, talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. Man, fuck that, man. Sometimes I want to talk to a brick wall because a brick wall don't change. And a brick wall is stability. It shows stability. It's stable. It's not going to change on you. So a brick wall is strong and a brick wall is not going to change on you. So the next time I say, I would rather talk to a brick wall, I would be mindful to say that that's not an insult because a lot of brick walls are more solid than a lot of these motherfuckers out here. But back to the lecture at hand. So what happened in strike three, I had to cut her off after that because a lot of these chicks, they're not worth the headache, especially when they're not bringing value into your life. You understand me? They just bringing headaches and pussy. And you could get both by yourself on the humble because nowadays, because of social media, you can accidentally fall into some pussy unless you're fucking lame. But, I had to cut her off because she referred to me as my government name when I told her not to. And she was like, well, I'm not calling you king because you're not my king. But you calling me king, that doesn't mean that I'm your king. That doesn't mean that. That's just my name. That's just the name that I go by. And if you can't respect that, then after click, cut you off. Disconnected. This service is no longer in service. This line is no longer in service. This number is no longer in service. I got to pretend that you never existed. It's like poof, be gone, vanish. You understand me? And fellas, do not get to the point where you so thirsty for pussy that you're allowing a woman to disrespect you. You understand me? Because pussy is not worth your dignity. You have to stand on your 10 toes solid, tall, on your 10 toes tall. Do not ever let a woman disrespect you. Do not compromise your rules, your morals, your values, your principles just to get some pussy. You understand me? Because I got the pussy, but I still had to cut her off because it's like I did not tolerate disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a man of age, when you know your value, when you know your worth, when you're an established gentleman such as myself, you do not tolerate the dumb shit, the smallest shit. When you get to a certain age, when you become a man of a certain age, red flags become deal breakers. Real talk, because you should not tolerate disrespect. I don't give a fuck how good she looks, how bad her body is, how banging she is. I don't give a fuck that, her pussy is made of platinum. She's making you grow wings. I don't give a fuck. Do not let these broads slide. You understand me? So, that's the reason why I do not deal with young chicks, because there's a misconception that people say, well, women mature faster than men. Shit, I beg to motherfucking defer, baby. I met a lot of immature chicks in my life. And that's why I deal with older women, because they know how to take care of a man. They see you as a king. They see your value. They see your worth. They see your purpose. As long as you're a man who knows how to handle his business, and as long as you're a man who's not on that fuck shit, if she sees the king in you, then you should treat her accordingly. You understand me? Don't fuck over a woman just because you had bad breaks in the past, because she doesn't deserve your baggage. But the reason why I don't deal with chicks younger than 30 is because I've been with older women who catered to me because they knew my worth. Now, if a woman is, younger than that and she's mature, she's on her shit, she was raised in a household where, the women in the household respected the masculine principle, then we could rock out. You understand me? Because the truth is, a lot of women nowadays, they never had that strong relationship with males in their lives. They didn't respect the masculine principle because they were always surrounded with women who say, oh, men ain't shit. Oh, I'm independent. I don't need a man. Fuck a man. I could do this by myself. All that bullshit, all this fake ass feminist bullshit. So, you have a lot of women who are on that bullshit. And, even if they're not feminists, they're influenced by that feminist mentality. And, you have a lot of these young chicks, they were not raised in a 2-parent household, or they were raised around women who did not respect the masculine principle. They did not see the value of men. You understand me? Whether, they might have had like a deadbeat father, deadbeat dad, uncles who were not shit. They might have been molested. They might have been raped. They might have been sexually assaulted. You don't know. It's like they don't respect men. And even though they may fuck with men, even though they may be heterosexual, that doesn't mean that they will respect you, because subconsciously they think that all men ain't shit and they just good for a nut. You understand me? So you better be careful with them type of chicks. Like, I don't want to stereotype every woman, but a woman who was raised in a 2-parent household, and a healthy 2-parent household, 9.9999999 out of 10 times, they're going to respect the masculine principle. They're going to respect the man. Now, don't get it fucked up. You do have women, they mature. They mature and they understand that, the man is not necessarily the head of the household. I'm not even going to put gender roles into this. They just understand the masculine principle because they understand that men go through bullshit in life like they do. So they want to be his piece. Just like a man is a woman's rock, a woman wants to be his piece. You understand me? All gender roles aside, a woman seeks to be his piece and seeks to compliment her man or the man who she's with. And that's what we want. We want order. We want peace. We want a woman who compliments us. We don't want a fucking competition with the women we're fucking with. And a lot of chicks nowadays, they want to compete with women on some, I'm a woman, hear me roar type shit. No, we don't want a fucking feminist. You understand me? We don't want that. We want you to be our peace. And we want you to add stability into our lives. That we have your back and you have ours. You understand me? And that's why I deal with older women. Because older women, the Cougars, the MILFs, they understand that. The MILFs, MILF, mothers I like to fuck, mothers I love to fuck. They understand that. You dig? And you young bras, you do not understand that. And don't be them young chicks. You understand that when you burnt out, you got pussy mileage, you get in your 40s and 50s, and now all of a sudden you figured it out. But dudes don't want to fuck with you anymore because you're a burnout. You understand me? So you want to snap to your senses when it's in the fourth quarter, when you're losing a game, instead of realizing that before the tip off, before you play the game. You in your 20s, you think you badass, you think you the shit. And now you figure that you can talk to a man anytime you want or any way you want because you're in your prime. But understand this, ladies, understand this. Beauty fades, but stupidity lasts forever. I'm going to say that again. Beauty fades, but stupidity lasts forever. And I want you to keep that jewel. You understand me? Because you're not going to be in your prime forever. This one chick told me that, because my mother aged well, I'm going to be like your mother. Bitch, you not your fucking mother. And who's to say that you're going to age gracefully? Because your vibe could be fucked up, your aura could be fucked up, and that could be, that could affect your personal appearance, your physical appearance. You understand me? So on that note, until next time, this has been another episode of Swingers After Dark, and this is your host, Not Some, baby. Check out my website at www.nelsonblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them, The Swinger Manifesto. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. Go get it. It make you say, na 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 na, ow. And shoot me an email at swingpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingpodcast@gmail.com. And hit me up with any questions and or concerns that you may have. Rate, share, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. You dig? And on that note, until next time, peace. You know.